Astro-Vastu Interior Design for Taurus Rising. A Venus-led, Earth-anchored spatial doctrine for stability, sensory safety, and sustainable abundance for aware, empathic, and high-sensitivity individuals. What you are designing here is not a house. You are designing a body-based nervous system for a Venus-ruled life. As a Taurus rising, space either grounds you into continuity or slowly erodes your sense of safety. When that grounding is missing, the effects are not dramatic. They are quiet and dangerous. Motivation fades, satisfaction thins out, money leaks without crisis. The body holds tension, pleasure turns compulsive or dull. Your home must never feel temporary. It must feel like it can hold you for decades. Hack 1. First house. Lagna zone. Overall spatial identity, Venusian embodiment field. You should treat your Lagna zone as an extension of your body. The moment you enter, your system must feel, I can settle here. If this zone feels movable, lightweight, or restless, Venus loses her anchor and Taurus slowly disconnects from life's sweetness. You must prioritize solidity, symmetry, and visual calm. Energy should not rush or scatter here. It should arrive and stay. You should work with creamy whites, warm beige, soft stone, muted olive, or pale taupe as the base. These tones reassure the nervous system. You may introduce blush, dusty rose, sage, or soft copper accents, but never sharp contrasts. Loud colors create subtle anxiety for Taurus. Furniture here must feel substantial and comfortable. Sofas should be deep and supportive. Chairs must invite the body to stay. Avoid furniture that looks clever but feels thin or unstable. This is not about trends, it is about trust. Lighting must be soft, even, and warm. Harsh white light destabilizes Venus. Dim lighting that feels gloomy creates lethargy. You need consistent, flattering light that makes the body feel safe. You should place one beautiful tactile focal object here: stone, ceramic, wood, or art with texture. Venus responds to touch as much as sight. If you use crystals, keep them grounding: rose quartz, green aventurine, or smoky quartz. Place quietly, never dramatically. Avoid minimalism that feels empty, glass-heavy decor, or visual imbalance. This zone must feel inhabited, not styled. 2. Second house. Main entrance and threshold wealth gate. Security and self-worth. Your entrance determines how secure you feel about survival, money, and continuity. For Taurus rising, the entrance must reassure you every day that resources will continue to come. You should favor the northeast for ethical accumulation and long-term growth, with east as secondary support. Aggressive or rushed entrances create financial anxiety even when income is stable. The door should be solid wood in warm, natural tones, never dark, never flashy. Hardware must feel pleasant to the hand. Brass, bronze, or copper, rounded and smooth. Sharp or aggressive fittings subtly threaten Venus. Lighting here should be warm and welcoming, never stark. Shadows at the entrance translate into fear of loss. You should place a gentle welcome element: a paired lamp, symmetrical planters, or soft decor that signals hospitality. If you use crystals, a small rose quartz or citrine near the entry supports reassurance, not display. Avoid clutter, shoe piles, mirrors facing the door, or anything that makes the entrance feel transactional. This space should whisper, "You are supported." 3. Third house. Living room comfort, circulation, and daily ease. This space determines whether comfort flows or gets stuck. You do not thrive in empty, hyper-open layouts. You need containment without confinement. The living room must feel embracing, not exposed. You should use warm neutrals, soft greens, muted blues, or earthy pastels. Avoid stark contrasts or dramatic statement walls. Visual noise drains Taurus slowly. Furniture should be arranged to encourage conversation and relaxation. Symmetry matters here. Seating should face each other gently, not confrontationally. Rugs are welcome, soft, heavy, grounding. Lighting must be layered and warm. Floor lamps, table lamps, and diffused overhead lighting work best. Avoid harsh spotlights. You may enhance this space with tactile fabrics, cushions, throws, and art that feels calming. Venus relaxes when beauty feels effortless. Avoid sharp corners, excessive minimalism, or decor that looks good but feels cold. When this zone is aligned, you feel safe to receive without guilt. 4. Fourth house. Emotional core, inner security, and nervous system stability. This is your emotional foundation. If this zone is unstable, nothing else holds. You should design this space for predictability and comfort. Sudden contrasts, loud colors, or experimental decor destabilize you emotionally. Use earthy tones: clay, sand, moss, warm brown, soft terracotta. These colors tell your body it can rest. Furniture must be familiar, supportive, and comfortable. This is not the place for statement pieces. This is where you emotionally exhale. Lighting must be steady and warm. No flickering, no drama. Candles are supportive here if used gently and consistently. You should include grounding objects, family photos, heirlooms, ceramics, stones, items with memory and continuity. Venus heals through familiarity. Avoid hollow space or echoing acoustics. This zone must hold you, not stimulate you. Core Taurus AstroVastu law: stability creates abundance. Continuity creates pleasure. Safety creates growth. When your space feels grounded, reliable, and inhabitable over time, Venus expresses as sustainable wealth, deep satisfaction, embodied pleasure, and emotional fulfillment. If your home feels temporary, rushed, or visually restless, Venus never relaxes, and neither do you. This is not luxury decor. This is embodied spatial psychology for a Venus-led life. Namaskar 5. Fifth house: pleasure, creativity, and joy, embodied enjoyment without excess. This is where you learn how to enjoy life without losing balance. For Taurus Rising, pleasure must be slow, repeatable, and deeply embodied. If this space is overstimulating or overly dramatic, Venus disconnects from joy and seeks comfort through excess, overeating, overindulgence, or emotional attachment. You should design this zone to feel indulgent yet calm. Use warm pastels, soft pinks, sage greens, muted blues, or gentle gold accents. These tones allow pleasure to unfold gradually rather than spike. Furniture here should invite lingering. Chaise lounges, cushioned seating, low tables, anything that allows the body to relax without collapsing. Avoid rigid seating or furniture that feels purely aesthetic. Lighting should be warm, flattering, and slightly diffused. This is an excellent zone for candles, but always in stable holders and in moderation. Flicker should feel soothing, not dramatic. You may enhance the space with art, music instruments, or creative tools that you actually use. Venus responds to sensory engagement, texture, sound, scent, not display. Crystals like rose quartz, emerald tone stones, or moonstone can support gentle joy if placed quietly. Avoid over-decoration, loud patterns, or themes that push intensity. When aligned, joy feels deserved, creativity becomes sustainable, and romance deepens naturally. Sixth house: kitchen and daily nourishment, continuity, health and wealth preservation. For you, food is not fuel alone. It is emotional continuity. This zone determines whether effort feels rewarding or draining. You should keep the kitchen calm, warm, and dependable. Favor earthy colors: cream, soft yellow, pale green, warm wood. Avoid stark white or dark, heavy cabinetry that feels oppressive. The layout should support steady movement. Everything you use daily must be easy to access. Struggling to find tools or navigating clutter creates subtle anxiety that shows up as emotional eating or financial worry. Lighting should be warm but clear. Shadows over food preparation areas destabilize digestion. You should keep this space clean and predictable. Copper or brass utensils support Venusian nourishment. Fresh elements, herbs, fruits, flowers are especially supportive here. Avoid rushed layouts, excessive appliances, or treating the kitchen as a storage zone. When aligned, eating patterns stabilize, health improves gradually, and effort feels worthwhile. Seventh house: master bedroom, relational stability, and emotional trust. This is one of the most critical zones for Taurus Rising. If the bedroom lacks grounding, Venus becomes insecure even in comfortable relationships. You should design this space for emotional reassurance. Use soft earth tones, warm grays, blush, or muted lavender. Avoid sharp contrasts or bold patterns. The bed must be heavy, stable, and centered. A solid headboard is essential. It gives Venus something to lean into emotionally. Symmetry on both sides of the bed signals equality and trust. Lighting must be low, warm, and gentle. Bedside lamps are preferable to overhead lights. Natural fabrics are non-negotiable here: cotton, linen, silk, wool. You may use candles or subtle fragrance, but only if they create calm, not stimulation. Mirrors should never face the bed. Reflection here creates insecurity and restlessness. When this zone is aligned, attachment softens into trust, sleep deepens, and relationships feel safe rather than effortful. Eighth house: storage, vaults, and hidden assets. Security without hoarding. This zone governs what you store, materially and emotionally. For Taurus Rising, clutter here equals financial anxiety and emotional heaviness. You must keep this space orderly, closed, and protected. Open storage creates subconscious fear of loss. Everything should have a place, and nothing should feel forgotten. Use neutral grounding colors, off-white, stone gray, beige. Avoid dramatic colors that trigger attachment. You should regularly audit this zone. What you keep must feel valuable or necessary, not just in case. Taurus tends to hold on longer than needed. Enhance with storage boxes, labels, and simple systems. Crystals like smoky quartz or hematite can support grounding here, but only discreetly. Avoid broken items, unused objects, or emotional memorabilia you are not ready to process. When this zone is balanced, savings grow quietly, fear of loss reduces, and emotional resilience strengthens. Here, Venus learns the difference between security and accumulation. 9. Ninth house, values, meaning, and long-term vision. Stability of belief without rigidity. This is where your relationship with worth, ethics, and long-term meaning takes shape. For Taurus Rising, belief systems must justify stability, not threaten it. When this space is chaotic or overly abstract, you may feel conflicted about success, guilty about accumulation, or unsure whether your efforts are truly right. You should design this zone to feel calm, grounded, and quietly expansive. Use soft creams, warm parchment, light olive, or gentle earth tones that allow reflection without heaviness. Avoid stark whites or overly intellectual, cold palettes. Furniture here should feel supportive and dignified. A comfortable reading chair, a stable desk, or a well-anchored bookshelf. This is not a place for casual sprawl, but also not rigid discipline. It should invite contemplation without pressure. Lighting must be warm and clear, ideally natural by day and softly focused by night. Harsh lighting makes values feel brittle. Dim lighting leads to doubt. You may place books, symbols of wisdom, travel mementos, or objects tied to learning and ethics, but only those that genuinely resonate with you. If you work with crystals, citrine or yellow calcite can support confidence in values, while green aventurine supports ethical growth. Avoid clutter, dogmatic decor, or anything that feels preachy. When aligned, wealth feels ethical, effort feels meaningful, and patience with long-term growth strengthens. 10th house, work, status, and material authority. Steady achievement without burnout. This zone governs how you sustain income, status, and authority over time. You thrive when work feels dependable and rewarding, not rushed or constantly shifting. You should keep this space calm, structured, and materially reassuring. Neutral tones, warm gray, beige, soft taupe, work best, supported by subtle accents in copper, olive, or muted gold. Avoid loud power colors that create pressure instead of confidence. Your desk must be solid and comfortable, never flimsy. Chairs should support long sitting without strain. Everything you need daily should be within easy reach. Constant adjustment erodes Taurus motivation. Lighting must be even and steady. Flicker or harsh glare creates irritation and a sense of being undervalued. This is not a place for dramatic lighting. It's a place for consistency. You may display a small number of achievements or symbols of responsibility, but avoid over-display. Venus authority grows quietly. When this zone is aligned, income stabilizes, career satisfaction increases, and effort compounds naturally. 11th house, gains, networks, and reliable support. Receiving without anxiety. This zone governs returns on effort, money, support, friendships, and long-term gains. For Taurus Rising, gains must feel predictable and deserved. Erratic social dynamics or unstable networks quietly undermine confidence. You should design this area to feel open yet grounded. Use light neutrals, soft greens, or gentle blues that support trust and openness without excitement. Avoid sharp contrasts or overly busy decor. Furniture should allow easy movement and comfortable gathering. Nothing should feel cramped or overly formal. Plants are especially supportive here. They reinforce organic, steady growth. Ventilation matters. Stagnant air here often shows up as frustration with people or fear of losing support. Keep windows clear and circulation unobstructed. Avoid clutter, broken items, or sentimental overload. When balanced, networks nourish you, gains feel steady, and social life supports rather than drains your energy. 12th house, rest, release, and sufficiency. I already have enough. This zone teaches your deepest Taurus lesson. You are safe even without holding on. It governs rest, detachment from excess, and emotional sufficiency. You should keep this space extremely simple and soft. Pale beige, warm off-white, gentle gray, or muted sand tones work best. This zone should feel almost empty, but not cold. Furniture must be minimal and comfortable. Clear floor space is essential. This is not a storage zone, it is a release zone. Lighting should be indirect and very gentle. Candles can be used sparingly if they create calm rather than indulgence. One grounding object only, a stone, a simple bowl, or a neutral fabric element. Avoid mirrors, storage, emotional memorabilia, or anything tied to obligation. When this zone is aligned, sleep deepens, anxiety around money dissolves, and satisfaction stabilizes. Here, Venus learns her final refinement. Security comes from trust, not accumulation.